Hello?
I can hear you.
Yay!
Oh, my Lord. Well, hello, everyone. This is Jake.
And this is Carrie.
And we're here to talk about young adult books. Carrie and I used to both live in Rhode Island, but now she is far away, so we're doing this to get together from time to time. We haven't figured out at all how this is going to work or what the name of the show is even.
We've been tossing around a lot of things. I believe we just came up with something that was about spoilers and swearing, because that's something that this podcast will be full of.
Yeah.
Both items. I may or may not have a mouth like a sailor, and I may or may not also be able to keep this stuff to myself because I get really, really excited about books. I forget some of the other stuff that we were talking about, you know.
Well, an idea that you said that I liked a lot was Jake and Carrie are too old for this shit.
And we may be, but
Could
really, young adult fiction is you don't have to be young to enjoy it. You just have to be young at heart or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or you just really, really, really like making fun of how stupid teenagers can be.
Never gets old.
Never does.
Anyway, what we're going to do... So the book we're talking about today is one that Carrie suggested, and it's Awoken by Serra, Elinsen. And as mentioned, we're going to really spoil the hell out of it. And there'll be a lot of swearing, probably. And then next week is one that I suggested. It's Daniel Pinkwater's book, Young Adult Novel, which I think is available on Kindle and as part of various collections. If you don't want spoilers and you haven't read the book yet, you can stop this podcast now and read Awoken. Or if you don't care, you can just listen to us talk about it.
I recommend reading it. It's really, really bad good.
It's really something.
It's something else.
It really is.
I love this book. It's so bad.
Yeah, it was a good choice. I appreciate it.
I think, starting off with just something that, you don't have to pull apart. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to, get all deep into the imagery. It's just like, I don't know, there's this weird dumb chick and she's into Cthulhu. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I was reading it, I was like, is this a parody of Twilight, or is it also kind of a parody of, like, Twilight fanfic? And I think it's both.
It's kind of the most amazing book ever written. If by most amazing you mean worst piece of schlock ever cobbled together by a group of people in order to tell 300-something page long joke.
I was looking at reviews on Goodreads and Amazon and stuff the other day, and
always a good decision.
Yeah, I ran across something which I don't think I'd seen before, which is the positive 2-star review.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do tell.
Well, it's all like, this book is terrible, but I kind of enjoyed it. That was more or less how that goes.
Well, it's really bad, but the whole point of it is to be really bad, which I think is, sort of the best part.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know much about the group of people who wrote the book. Someone, nostalgia chick from some website, started this whole thing, and I believe its working title was 50 Shades of Green, which is amazing.
Very good.
But I had no idea that this thing even existed until one day at book club, this girl was like, oh my freaking God, y'all, here's what we need to read. It's going to be the best, worst thing ever.
Uh-huh.
And, oh, was she ever right? I loved this thing from beginning to end.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I had not heard of it before you suggested we cover it. So one of the things, apparently one of the kind of things that they wanted to do with the book was to create another character of the author, and because it's written by 8 people, right?
Yeah. And the character of the author, Serra,
yeah,
is a housewife from Ohio or something.
Yes. And Anna Protestant.
Of course. Whatever on earth that means, I don't know.
Yeah, but some sort of fundamentalist who has never left her hometown. And one of the things that they said in one of the videos, the actual authors, was that the New York scene was based in part on the idea that the only thing that Serra knew about New York was from watching Home Alone 2.
Okay, we're gonna go with that.
So that's why they stay in that hotel, and yeah.
And that's why she's obsessed with Phantom of the Opera and all of these other sort of basic, boring things.
I was kind of wondering if we should start with the plot summary or anything, but I feel like the plot isn't really the point as such.
What plot?
Yeah, well, that's also a good question. I've read this twice in the past few weeks, and the second time I was like, does this have a twist ending? How does this book end? I don't even remember.
I think it ends with the world not ending.
Very good.
And love triumphing, maybe? But that's about it.
I had completely forgotten that Cthulhu's entire family shows up to help save the day.
Yeah. His little sister, Chloe, I believe her name is.
Yeah, Chloe.
is kind of awesome.
Yeah.
And his uncle Neil, who runs the junk shop in town.
Yep.
But yeah, I'd actually forgotten about that as well until maybe about 20 minutes ago when I finished the book again.
Oh, there you go.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking a good place to start might be just to run through the characters. So let's see. We'll start with the major players here. So we've got Andromeda Slate, Andy, who is, as you said, the bland heroine. They named her Slate because of Blank Slate. Oh, yeah, and the whole Andromeda thing. I have to say, when I read the first chapter, which is probably the worst chapter in the whole book.
Oh, yeah, it's bad.
And I guess, no, I will not digress further. We're too early on. But so I was like, oh, Andromeda. That's like cute because Andromeda in myth is like rescued by, I forget, Perseus or somebody from this ravening giant sea monster. So I was like, oh, that's a little bit clever even. Maybe that's something that they intended just for people who knew what was going on to catch. But then at the end of the chapter, she says, oh, Andromeda, like she explains the joke essentially. And then in the next chapter, she explains it again. I was like, oh, it's that kind of book. All right.
Mm-hmm.
She's described as plain and boring in a way that makes it clear that she is not.
Oh,
right?
she's absolutely gorgeous.
Like she talks about how her skin is plain and unblemished.
Poor her.
Yeah. The horror.
The eldritch horror.
And then also she's a terrible person, right?
Oh, she's awful.
Yeah.
Everything about her is terrible.
Indeed. She talks about what a great reader she is, how she loves reading. That's why Vic shows her the Necronomicon, because she loves books.
Yeah, because we see her reading so many of them.
Right. We see her read Phantom of the Opera, and she mentions having read like Marine Biology for Dummies.
Well, her parents are marine biologists.
Yes.
So, I mean, if you're going to be able to talk to your parents about anything, it better be about marine biology.
Yeah, she said they gave it to her because they thought it was a good introduction to the topic.
Well, yeah. If
Sure.
you need your child to, continue with a family business, yes.
All right. Now, of course, our the other major character would be Cthulhu himself.
Or
right?
Riley.
Riley Bay.
Worst name ever.
I wanted him to be voiced by James Earl Jones.
Well, I think that's sort of a given. I mean, no matter what, in the book, Riley's voice is talked about many times as being booming and seeming to come from everywhere. So, I mean, that's sort of a given.
Andy's two sidekicks are Bree.
Oh, Bree. Okay, so Bree or Bridget Fifen. This is what I read about her.
Mm-hmm.
Her name is an anagram of big fat friend.
Indeed.
I don't think she is mentioned in the book once without also them mentioning food.
Yes.
Or what she is eating. And I think that is
It's very subtle.
It's about as subtle as you can get, really. I mean, besides naming somebody Andromeda Slate and then bashing you over the head with it repeatedly.
As a person, probably one of the nicer people in the book.
Yeah, she is not a horrible person.
Right. Seems to have some common sense, unlike anyone else.
Yeah. And then the other sidekick, of course, is Vic.
Yeah. That is, in Twilight, of course, there was Jacob, right? Who was Native American Indian.
So now we have an India Indian.
Yeah. And I had heard that in the sequel, I heard reference that perhaps he was going to be an avatar of Vishnu or something, which is fairly terrible.
Why not?
Why not, indeed? Let's see. Scarlet Epistola. What a great name.
Yeah, you know what actually hit me like a friggin' ton of bricks today on the ride home on the bus?
What?
Scarlet goddamn Letter. I don't know what the hell took me so long to friggin' figure that shit out, but I'm on the bus, and all of a sudden, oh, her friggin' name is Scarlet Letter. Duh. Why did it take me so long? Why did it take me 2 readings to figure that out?
Well, I thought, my first thought as someone who is terrible at languages was pistol rather than letter. But
yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely, and she's a woman scorned.
Oh, is she ever? So, spoiler alert or whatever, but was she the first girlfriend?
Oh, I don't.
Because Neil mentioned in the junk store that there was another girl at some other point. And I was wondering, like, wait, was it Scarlet?
Huh.
And if so, why the hell didn't she recognize Riley? But that's a different story altogether.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. That never really occurred to me, but it would sort of make sense.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll find out in the sequel.
Maybe. When they describe Miss Scarlet Epistola, she is buxom. She is basically a porn star who teaches marine biology in a high school.
Mm-hmm.
And why they have marine biology in a high school is beyond me.
All right. Well, we're coming to the best character in the book now.
Yes.
Uncle Neil.
Uncle Neil's such a douchebag. I love him.
The great thing about Uncle Neil, well, there's a number of things, but one of the things is that he's always like, he has all these cool stories, and Andy could not care less, and they don't go in the book. Like, Andy is like, Uncle Neil was talking about some stupid adventure he had someplace. I don't even know.
One of the things I really like about Uncle Neil is that, he wins a talking car in a hand of cards. I'm like, that's cool.
I think billiards.
Oh, was it billiards?
I think.
See, that's how much I pay attention to this book. I love it so much that the details escape me. And he decided to hide the book that would bring about the end of the world in a litter box, because that's what you do.
Yes. Well, I certainly would not look in someone's litter box for a book or for anything else.
You're lucky you don't have cats.
I love cats.
Yeah, so Uncle Neil, he's kind of awesome, and he makes fun of Riley like nobody's business, and I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Because even though, Riley is the great elder god Cthulhu, his uncle doesn't give him, he doesn't give a shit.
Yep.
But yeah, he's the best character. What else do you think about Neil, about Uncle Neil? Besides the fact that he's awesome.
I don't know. Awesome kind of sums it up.
Yeah.
He was, I watched some of the videos that the people recorded while they were writing the book.
Yeah.
And he was described as the character that you wonder why the book isn't about him.
Yeah.
And he doesn't take any crap from Riley.
Nor should he. Riley just acts like a lovesick teenager who makes me nauseated. So yeah, I don't see any point of taking any crap from him.
And he keeps wanting to do experiments on Andy, which is great.
Oh yeah, because he's like, why don't you just drink this? See what happens. Like, no big deal.
Those are all the main characters right there, but there's one other character I wanted to mention just because I loved it so much.
Mm-hmm.
The French teacher, Monsieur Cousteau.
And why did you love this character so much?
It's so stupid. Well, there's why on Portsmouth is there a French teacher who's an actual French character named Monsieur Cousteau, who then asks Andy to conjugate the French verb for to love.
Oh, that was just, that part was pretty special. So have you noticed in this book that, so Portsmouth, Rhode Island.
Yes.
I don't know about you, but I've been to Portsmouth, Rhode Island.
Yes, I've been there as well.
And one weekend, it's nice enough for them to go swimming in a pool.
Mm-hmm.
The next weekend, it's nice enough for her to wear a bikini at the beach. And then what's it, 2 weekends later when it's the goddamn pumpkin ball?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a very good point.
And I'm thinking, I don't know about the rest of the planet that I live on, but New England doesn't change that quickly from hot to cold.
Not at the end of October.
No. And so I'm like, why is she wearing this tiny purple bikini on the beach?
Yeah.
When in 2 weeks it's the pumpkin ball. This is not gonna work for me. I can't suspend my disbelief like this. Like, I can disbelieve a lot of things in this book. I can just suspend disbelief like nobody's business. Like, yeah, sure. There's an elder god who falls in love with a teenager and they live happily ever after. Because while she is a figment of his dad's dream, that's totally cool with him and we'll just go with that.
Yeah.
But the season change really pisses me off.
Yeah, that's true. That strikes right at the heart of the Rhode Islander. You know, October is mentioned in the state song.
Is it now?
Yeah. It's the state song is maybe even more badly written than this book. I love the fresh October days, the buzz on College Hill. Art that moves an art to tear, a jeweler's special skill. Icicles refract the sun, snow falling gracefully. Some search for a place that's warm. Rhode Island's it for me. Now, that also seems a little extreme. Snow and ice, but nonetheless, I think it illustrates your point.
As a child, I think it may have snowed once or twice, while I was trick-or-treating over the years. But, I mean, yeah, ice, snow, I can almost believe it. Bikini weather?
Yeah, maybe not.
I can't. Yeah, I don't know why that stuck with me so much, but it really did. And the other thing that really stuck with me was Bree's use of the word wicked.
I know.
It's like, I have to say, it's the worst Rhode Islandism ever tried. I mean, it's just the fact that she said at one point, let's see, it's on page 17 in chapter 2. Because that was kind of wicked hilarious. What the fuck, Bree? Kind of wicked hilarious? It's either kind of hilarious or it's wicked hilarious. But there is no such thing as kind of wicked. Just FYI. And so the fact that she used wicked all the time in the book, like everything was wicked something, but it was always used just a little bit wrong. And it just made me so mad.
Not for nothing.
Not for nothing. Can't do it.
I wanted to ask you this question.
Okay.
So if you read it not knowing it was a parody, at what point do you think you would have figured it out?
Oh my God. I don't know. That's the thing, because I came into it knowing that it was a joke. I might have figured it out pretty early on. I hope I would.
Yeah. I mean, that first chapter.
The first chapter, it just, it opens with her dreaming and being in the vast nothingness and seeing this giant monster, but a beautiful boy. And then waking up. And you're just like, really, dude? So I would hope that I'm smart enough to figure out that it's pulling my leg, but I don't know. I'd say at least by the time that they got to marine biology class.
The marine biology thing, like, because there's always, whenever something's set in a high school, they're always studying something that's weirdly relevant to what comes up.
Well, of course.
Although in this case, as we said, Andy is really not paying any attention and could care less.
No, and you think she would notice something,
Yes.
but she's dumb as a box of rocks.
Right.
So she's in this marine biology class with this stripper who's teaching about, the elder gods and Cthulhu and the great ones, and she's like, derp, 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 derp. None of this makes any sense to me.
Right.
Like, really? You're not thinking about, I'm having these dreams about elder gods, and these words sound really familiar, like from this Necronomicon. And why is it the Necronomicon? Like, why that book of all books did they choose? Like, that's not even relevant.
Sure. Well, I came across a review, like I said, in like Goodreads, there were a lot of 4 and 5 star reviews from people who really enjoyed the book. There were a lot of reviews that were like, this book was amazing. It was so terrible, but it was great.
Well, yeah.
And I kind of think that maybe it was a joke, but I'm not sure. There was a lot of that. But then there were also some by very angry H.P. Lovecraft fans. Yeah, I don't know why the Necronomicon, but yeah, why not?
Why not? If this book were ever a drinking game,
Yes.
I think every time they used the word eldritch, that would get you the drunkest.
Okay. Not Ant?
Oh, I think Ant might get you really, really fucked up really fast.
Yeah.
But I was like, for a girl who doesn't know what an elder god is and who doesn't know really much of anything because she's dumb as a box of rocks, she sure knows what an eldritch tome is. She uses the word a lot. So anyway, that's something I wrote down earlier, again, while I was on the bus, because that's when I do my best reading, really, is on the bus. I wrote, drink every time they use the word eldritch.
Good note.
There you have it. Let me tell you how happy I was. So, yes, they escaped to New York City, and he took her to the Phantom of the Opera because, of course, she's the sort of bitch who likes Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah, Phantom of the Opera is their thing.
Oh, that's their thing, because, he is wearing a mask. Of course, his mask is super hot.
Yeah.
I loved the fact that she got her ass in trouble when she got back.
Yes.
Because I find that so many books, the girl goes off and does something stupid and never gets her ass reamed for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so happy when she got home and the friggin' cops were there. Because I was going to get pissed off. Because she hadn't called home. She hadn't checked in. She was just in New York with her boyfriend, who's an elder god.
Yeah.
Making people mad and eating their souls.
Staying in the Plaza Hotel.
Like you do. And yeah, I'm sure at some point he undressed her, right?
Yeah, I think he did remove her clothes at some point. I mean, he's a giant squid. I don't know.
Yeah.
One of the things that I just thought of is, so while they're in New York and they have dinner at Sardi's, or wait, no, it's the next morning when they're at the hotel, and he's ordered room service. And
I know where you're going with this.
So she refuses to eat any meat because she's a pescatarian.
Yes.
So I had 2 thoughts about that. One of them is that he's essentially a fish.
Yep.
But the other thing I was thinking, like she says that she only eats fish. She doesn't eat meat. And he makes fun of her for it.
Well, yeah. He's like, oh, that's a really cute rule, sweetie.
Yeah.
That's adorable.
It's great. The distinctions you people make.
You Lilliputian humans.
Right.
You tiny ants, you little things. Yes.
A lot of ants.
Yeah, a lot of ants going on. Because, what did he do? He went out and ate a bunch of souls that night, so
Yeah.
he's full. He's like, yeah, you don't eat meat. I eat people, motherfucker. I eat people.
He did eat a cupcake.
Oh, good for him.
But I was thinking of, in Twilight, the vampires call themselves vegetarians because they only eat animals.
Okay, I have to admit, I have not read many of the Twilight books. I read the first one, and that was enough for me. But I believe you have seen the movies, haven't you?
I've seen a bunch of the movies.
Yeah. So they're vegetarians.
Yeah.
What do they just eat? Deers?
Yes.
I don't know. Deers are cuter.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do that. If I was a vampire, I think I'd probably still choose people.
Fair enough. I can't argue with that.
Really, how can you? It's somebody's personal preference. Which brings me to one of my favorite quotes.
All right, let's do it.
In the whole book. We stand now beneath the stones, little one. I once walked among the stars, a giant. I once slumbered here, in a space between spaces. I am the priest all high of the great old ones. The words hit me with the force of a blow. I gaped in the dark. I was shattered. The awful weight of implication crushing me to a fine powder. Riley? A priest? Does that mean that you can't, be with someone? And I was like, girl, please. This dude is telling you, bitch, I'm an alien.
Yep.
And she's like, what, we can't bone?
Yep.
He's saying that he walks among the stars, that he is a giant, that he slumbers in the space between spaces. And she's like, but what about the sex?
Yeah.
And I thought that was amazing.
I agree. I wrote that one down too.
I wanted to hug that whole thing right there because, I'm sorry. Maybe I'm old-fashioned. But if a gentleman says to me, you know what, Carrie? I am a god, and I'm a priest of the great old ones, etc., etc. I don't think I would say anything in return. I would just be walking away quickly, very, very quickly, because that shit ain't normal.
It's Adam and Eve, not Adam and Eel.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I lose. You win. That was fantastic. Yeah, my note in my Kindle is actually, but Riley, can you sex me?
Yes.
So there you go.
Yeah, I one of the things about the book is it's racism.
Yeah.
I was thinking actually about that in connection to the question of like when I would have figured out it was a parody, which again, I kind of hope I would have done it on the first page or two.
I hope so, but if not, when would you have figured it out?
My hope is that in chapter 8, aka the beach party.
Yes.
The
beach party! Oh God, how they talk to each other.
Yes. Yeah, and also, can you get wine coolers in Capri Sun packs? I don't know.
But another error in the book.
Yep.
Just at one point before, and she's like, I had 3 wine coolers and I can't stand up.
Yeah.
And then later she said she had 4.
Oh, I did notice that also.
Okay, good. So it's not just me that's picking apart a shitty book.
No. And then later, Riley offers her a drink while they're in New York, and she refuses, and he's like, "Good, you can't handle
handle the truth." Yeah. So yeah, the beach party.
There's like a multicultural collection of college students, and in fact, she's almost raped by a multicultural collection of street people.
Yes, that is true.
But the Bree's black college friend, Jamal, they have this dialogue. Bree says, "I think everyone ate all the chips and stuff," said Bree. "Word," said Jamal, "but you can jive up to the taco hut on the boardwalk if you hungry, dig?" I feel like that would have tipped me off that something was going on.
Because, jiving on up to a taco hut, that's something that I hear regularly, actually. I mean, that's totally how people talk, right?
Yeah. Well, in Portsmouth.
In Portsmouth, yeah.
Yeah. They wicked talk like that a lot.
They kind of wicked do.
Yeah. But then also, in chapter 10, Scarlet Epistola and Vic have gone missing. And Andy, in a kind of rare moment of thinking about someone other than herself, is a little freaked out about it. So Neil has a sort of video projector that can find people. So
yes.
Right. So he says, "Think about finding your friend," Neil instructed, adjusting the lens. "His name, his face, his personality. As you're turning the crank, give it a go." It's worth a try, I thought, and pushed the crank. It made a clattering sound as it moved, and a light came on inside the machine. A glowing, flickering box appeared on the sheet on the wall. As I turned the handle, I thought about Vic's house, the Bollywood music playing in his kitchen as we snacked on naan together. His cute, bright smile, his faint accent, the way he loved his Vespa, the way he defended yoga as manly.
Oh, that's right, because she talks about him in yoga a couple of times, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this is my favorite part of the whole book.
Excellent.
Favorite part. I gasped. What tiny bits of unshattered heart I'd retained left me to scatter far across the universe. I was gone, hollow, screaming, tortured. Dun dun dun. Was this what it was to be driven mad by great Cthulhu? "Riley," I gulped, "please, you don't mean this. I love you." "You cannot comprehend me, paltry diminutive one," he growled. "Therefore you cannot love me. And that is why I cannot go out with you." And I love that. I love that he just says, "Yeah, straight up, dude. I can't go out with you."
Yeah, I need to try that line sometime.
"You cannot love me, and therefore I can't go out with you." I love every moment of that. And then, what is it? The next page, it's, where again he calls her diminutive and all these things. "What has been weeks to you, diminutive being?" "Were less than seconds to me," Riley said quietly. "To me, the time was nothing, as you are nothing. But what about the pumpkin ball?" He turned from me. "I cannot take you to the pumpkin ball." Oh, Riley.
That's rough.
You can't take her to the pumpkin ball.
Mm-hmm.
You can almost just feel his three hearts breaking.
Underneath his FUBU shirt.
Underneath his FUBU shirt, yes. His outfits are kind of amazing. I believe at one point, maybe a couple of pages from now, he's wearing Ray-Ban shoes. And I was like, I did not know that existed. So I Googled the hell out of it.
Yeah.
They don't exist. So I'm not sure what's going on with these Ray-Ban shoes, but he's got Ray-Ban shoes and a FUBU shirt, and he's always got some designer-ass jeans on, and I'm not sure where he's shopping for these. I'm not sure if he just conjures them.
I think doesn't he say at some point that he orders them online?
Maybe, and I skipped over that part because, where do you get that stuff shipped?
I don't know. Maybe to Uncle Neil's.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe he's got a P.O. box or something.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah.
Why does he have money?
Why doesn't he just conjure things up?
Yeah.
Because at one point he said that he had to take the day out of school to go looking for this French version of Phantom of the Opera for her. I'm like, can't you just, make it? You're a god.
Well, I think only after he's eaten people recently.
Well, then he needs to eat more people.
That's true.
I mean, really, his people diet needs to end. I mean, at one point she's like, "Eat my soul, baby, eat my soul." And he's like, "No, I'm cool. I don't want your soul." I don't know. Maybe that's the only thing she'd be good for.
Well, she's able to look upon his true visage without going crazy.
Well, that is true. Good for her. So yeah, he cannot take her to the pumpkin ball, and that is so sad. And she falls apart. Another thing that he tells her, oh gosh, let me find it, because it is great. Do me the one favor I have asked, infinitesimal child. Simply keep yourself from harm. Consume not of the Tylenol in excess. Nor look for trouble in bars frequented by bikers or gang members, nor leap from any bridges. You may yet be needed. The way he talks to her is amazing.
Isn't it so sweet how he's concerned about her?
It is. And, she's 17, so I don't think she can be in bars anyway. But if you're gonna go to a bar, girl, just don't go to a gang or biker bar, because they have so many of them in Portsmouth, Rhode Island.
I think there are a few in Newport.
It's Newport. What's the gang situation there, really?
No, that's true.
Oh, we've got the Ascot gang versus the New Money versus Old Money. Like, really? It's Newport.
Yeah. They came over the bridge.
So yes, consume not of the Tylenol, tiny one. Just don't do it. Yeah. But anyway, so she does try to kill herself after all of this, but then gets kidnapped and almost murdered by Scarlet.
That was so freaking crazy. That whole setup.
Yeah.
So there's like a chandelier, and then she's going to be drowned in a bathtub, and it's like, what?
So and also she's like, I'm chained up to some sort of metal pole thing.
Yes.
And it's a friggin'
hand
cart.
Yeah. And she thinks back wistfully of the time that Riley tied her up.
That part was pretty special. She's like, "Oh yeah, that was kind of sexy. We were in a boat and it was like
it was silk. It wasn't
shit. Fuck these chains. I want that silk back." And that was kind of awesome. I mean, the whole thing was just like, everything is bad, but of course there's a chandelier and there's this giant old theater.
Yeah.
And, all these cultists are in their robes and they're ready to bring about the end of the world. And only she can be sacrificed in a tub full of brackish water.
Because she is the heart of Cthulhu.
Oh, but is she ever the heart of Cthulhu? And then, of course, his family members come and save the day. And Scarlet Epistola gets arrested. Or does she?
She goes crazy. She's arrested. She escapes.
She does escape because, of course, we need a second book. But don't worry about that, Riley says. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
She can't do any harm. Things are going to be cool now. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, her parents can't be too crazy about all this.
No, and after her ass being so grounded, they disappeared pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was really excited that they called the cops on her earlier, but then again, they still are YA book parents who, rarely exist.
Right.
That's a whole lot of stuff about an amazingly bad, wonderful, horrific book.
Yep. So next time, whenever that is, we're going to talk about the book by Daniel Pinkwater called Young Adult Novel.
Which is, I think, a great title for a podcast about young adult novels.
Maybe it's a little on the nose, but I feel like we've started with two of the stranger books out there in this genre.
I don't know. I've read a lot of YA. There's
Okay.
some weird shit out there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some really great books. There's some really bad books, but there's also some just really weird ass books.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe these are, top of the heap when it comes to strange, but
Yeah. So one of the ideas that I had was for this next book, one of the things that's in the book is that the characters in it themselves write sort of short stories about this guy, Kevin Shapiro, boy orphan.
okay.
So I think what you and I can do is, after you've read the book and know what the hell I'm talking about, is we can each write like a 1 or 2 paragraph little Kevin Shapiro story, and we can read them on the podcast. And also, if anyone hears this and reads the book, which is like 100 pages long, like, so you can read it in an hour.
Yeah. I'm a pretty fast reader. I'm probably a better reader than Andy Slate. I mean, I'm just saying I might be able to read faster than her, so that's pretty impressive.
Damn, girl. So maybe if other people want to also write Kevin Shapiro stories, and you can post them on Facebook or something. We really have not set up anything yet or figured out how this is going to work at all.
No, not even close. But we just know we like books. We like talking about books. And, we just really like talking to each other.
That's right. It's been too long.
It really has.
Hey, this is Jake from A Few Days Later. Just wanted to let you know that the Facebook page can now be reached at facebook.com/loveYALikeCrazy. That's all one word. And so you can go there and post comments about this episode or your Kevin Shapiro stories, and we will read them and enjoy them and perhaps read them on some future episode. So back to my original discussion with Carrie. So we'll do that. And I guess that'll be about it for this episode. So thanks to everyone for listening. And it was great talking to you, Carrie.
It's good talking to you, Jacob. See you soon.
Yeah.
Eating and sleeping and eating and sleeping and
Und sleeping und.
Turning pages.
yeah.